Right, let's talk then about the main man of the day, in my opinion. Let's talk about Conor Bradley, Liverpool's right back, the best right back on the pitch by a mile, the best guy wearing number 12 on the pitch by a mile. Conor Bradley, 98.6% of you voted boss, and the other, 1.4% are just trolls, I am certain. Errol, undeniably, Conor Bradley was brilliant tonight. He saves his best, evidently, for Real Madrid. I said, if you're looking for Vinicius Jr, you'll find him in Conor Bradley's back pocket, mate.
He was an absolute belter tonight, Conor Bradley. It was unbelievable. That is the level of application, hard work, commitment, and absolute passion that is required when you are going to put the shirt of Liverpool on your back, son. And honestly, you absolutely nailed it tonight. And you nailed Vinicius Jr a couple of times. And you left him absolutely looking like bang average as well. And you know what? It was great to see that not only was his confidence back, but him trying to drive forward with the ball at times. And it wasn't an all-out, all gung-ho performance from him, up and down, up and down. He did his real best work defensively today in terms of that 1v1 individual duel. And he just looked an absolute pearl of a player. He looks like he's found his form again. He's finding that level of confidence. And for me, I said it to you from early doors, that back line had been there so many times last season. Tough games, big games, but they stood up time and time again, and they delivered us a Premier League title. Now, we know, obviously, there's been incomings that has changed the makeup of that back line. But when we revert back to the basics and go back to what worked so well for Liverpool last season, Conor Bradley played a large part in the success that Liverpool was able to have. And tonight, an absolutely incredible performance on the pitch for us as well. As I've already mentioned, those individual battles are so important, and we highlighted those fullbacks really could be the area in which Real Madrid tried to capitalise and try and utilise Vinicius Jr. I know Güler comes inside a little bit more and Camavinga goes over on the other side for them, but all round, Conor Bradley's reading of the game, the anticipation, and again, just that grit and pure determination to ensure that he had a really good performance. And I said it time and time again throughout the stream, it was all about making sure you left that pitch tonight with no regrets. He didn't leave nothing on the pitch, and that is exactly what Conor Bradley did. And there was no surprise to me that he is people's man of the match. He was always going to be up against a tricky customer in Vinicius Jr. But countless times tonight, Conor Bradley read the situation well, didn't overcommit, didn't fly into his tackles. He's been a little bit susceptible to picking up yellow cards, but it's actually him on the receiving end of a foul, driving forward, and Vinicius Jr has to do the tracking back, and in the end, all he can do is really drag him down. Conor Bradley was absolutely excellent tonight, and for me now, going forward, I think he's needed a game like this, because I think he's struggled to kind of rediscover the form that he picked up so well last season. And obviously he had not necessarily the comfort blanket, but he did have somebody to model his game off in Trent Alexander-Arnold. You know, can't make no bones about that. He was there, he played his part last season. But this season he's been a little bit stop-start for me. He hasn't always played with the utmost confidence, but tonight I think he's now rediscovered what it is to be that fullback, understand that role, what it actually requires more often than not. And I genuinely think that now can be his blueprint for the rest of the season. Yeah. Like, if you play like that, you know, 9 times out of 10, it is going to be very, very difficult to displace you from a Liverpool side. So continue in that form, Conor Bradley. That was excellent. You got the fans really into it from the minute, from where go. We was all behind you. Everybody was standing tall with you when you was doing what you was doing on the pitch tonight. And I just genuinely, I am so happy to see that, you know, one of our full-backs is being spoken about in such high praise. And I think he absolutely deserves it. So yes, Conor Bradley was boss.
I thought, you know, we've seen loads of times Vinicius Jr is unbelievable player, you know, unbelievable footballer. Again, a couple of times there he let himself down with a play acting and stuff. That's what he kind of sometimes does. But he's hurt Liverpool on plenty of occasions. He's played 5 games. He scored 5 goals. Honestly, he still looked threatening today. He's still very, very dangerous. But pretty much every time, even when he was by Conor Bradley, he'd find a way to get back. He'd get a tackle involved. And like I say, I think he ended up frustrating Vinicius towards the end. That time when the throw-in goes against him and Vinicius is kicking off. Errol mentioned he got booked for having to chase Conor Bradley back towards his own goal, which he definitely didn't want to be doing. You know, he was there outball. Madrid were constantly trying to feed that left-hand side. He didn't really attack down the right, whether it be Camavinga or Güler, or even when, you know, Rodrigo come on and stuff. It was all focused down the left, and for Conor Bradley to perform like he did, absolutely unbelievable. You know, I'm just reading some of the stats. 3 tackles made, 3 tackles won.
Yep.
an interception, 2 clearances, 7 ball recoveries, 7 ground duels won, 1 aerial duel won as well. And even with the ball, like I say, he was good with the ball. He kept finding Salah little flicks around the corner. Absolutely fantastic. And yeah, listen, I don't care what anyone says. And I know it gets talked about in sport, like, you know, you just play the game, you don't play the occasion, blah, blah, blah. Conor Bradley's not an idiot. Like, Conor Bradley knows that Trent Alexander-Arnold is sat on the other bench and he'll be coming on for that team. You know, when he left and basically said to Conor Bradley, it's your shirt, that's huge pressure to fill. And especially when he sat there, and ironically, they both wear the same shirt number as well, like I mentioned earlier. And Conor's not an idiot. If he makes a mistake today, he gets beaten 2 or 3 times, and Mbappe past them, or Vinicius, everyone's talking about, oh, you know, Trent would maybe blah, blah, blah. And, you know, listen, we've seen Trent against Vinicius. It hasn't always gone well for us. But I think he knows that the occasion he's playing, Errol, and for him to step up like that and perform, undoubtedly his best performance of the season. Yeah. One of the best right-back performances defensively from a Liverpool defender for a long time, really. Like, that's as good as it gets. We're often used to our attacking right-backs playing in certain ways. Defensively, just outstanding. Like, I was a little bit worried when I saw, you know, how left-side dominant Real Madrid would be, and I thought, at some point, surely, Vinicius is going to get the better of this, or Mbappe is going to do something. Very rarely did they, and that all goes down to how good Bradley was.
He got no change out of him. Bradley was just not having any of it, and you know what? I am absolutely made up, because Liverpool have needed a defensive performance like this for a long time. Not only was we good going forward today, Liverpool, and again, if it's not for Courtois in goal, it could have been 3, it could have been 4, but defensively, Liverpool keep a clean sheet. I only really 2 big flashing moments, one from Jude Bellingham in the first half, and then probably one from Mbappe, where it just fades away from the far post. Outside of that, Madrid didn't really trouble the defensive line, and I can say that now, the full-time whistle's gone and Liverpool held their own, he held their nerve. Conor Bradley was absolutely excellent, and he was the foundation for all of the good work, because again, he set the tone, he was there, you just read out the stats, the ground duels, the battling. He was up against one of the best wingers in the world. Now, people have said over the last couple of years, you know, Vinicius Jr should have been in the conversation for Ballon d'Or. That's how good he's been, and it was always going to be a battle of the wills, and Conor Bradley just didn't let up, even going towards the 90th minute. There was some moments where the ball was pushed out to his side and he's shielding the ball with his body, he's getting his body in between the ball and the man, he's making himself really big so you can't get around him, he's throwing in big late challenges so that nobody can get into the box. It was all out action from Conor Bradley tonight, and in terms of just the energy that he gave to the fans in the ground, and you've got to give the fans a lot of credit, because they was absolutely fantastic tonight. It looked like an incredible atmosphere down at Anfield. I am absolutely made up that those lads have been given that love from the crowd and that level of support, because yeah, it has been difficult the last couple of weeks, but we never ever stop believing that this team is a special side, and tonight they delivered potentially one of our big games. And sometimes you make a big statement, you need to win 3-4-0. That, to me, tonight was a statement performance, and Conor Bradley was at the heartbeat of it.
Absolutely fantastic. For those watching on YouTube or listening on the free podcast services, so head on over to redmenplus.com. We're going to be going through every other one of Liverpool's players. But let us know your thoughts in the comment sections or on social media about Conor Bradley. He was magnificent tonight. I'm sure you'll all agree. That was a clip from the Player Ranking Show. If you'd like to check out the show in full in either video or podcast form, simply head to redmenplus.com.